Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live weekly chat. Now, this week is a little bit different to every other week because it's the first time I've ever gone live and done one of my live chats on a Friday. I usually do Saturday, 10 o'clock GMT, but because of upcoming events for this Saturday, which is tomorrow, I wasn't able to make it. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the two different things that I'm doing tomorrow later. But first of all, as always, I need to go and find the chat window. So hopefully you've all been able to find out that I'm doing it on Friday instead of the usual time of tomorrow, Saturday. So I'm just looking at the live screen window. I've just typed hello. So hopefully I can see people. I can see Kimberly Stevens. Hello, Kimberly. I can see Dawn Moore, who's saying that her children left early, so you're here. And so I'm really pleased that people managed to make it. Emily Rose is here as well. And as always, I didn't think anything could top the previous couple of weeks, but there's been so much going on with the royal family. I have my list, but I'm sure that you will all ask me all the questions that I've got on there anyway. Kimberly says, what is that beautiful brooch you're wearing? Basically, this is the Queen's Star brooch, which I've been wearing on several occasions on the past live chats. But each of the royal brooches has a pendant attachment. And initially, when I did my review, when I opened the brooches, I didn't notice. But each brooch has actually got a little eyelet. So you can put them onto a pendant, you can turn them into chokers, you can put them on ribbons like what I have. So you can wear them in many different ways. You could wear them as a bandeau, you could wear them in your hair. So they are very, 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 very versatile. Susan says, I love you, greetings to my sweetheart. Well, thank you very much, Susan, and greetings to you too. Banal Candice says, oh, look at you, don't you look so royal and wonderful? Well, I thought I'd dress up because in honour of Sophie Wessex visiting the European royals for Queen Sonja and King Harald's joint 80th birthday party, I thought I'd dress up. So here we are. Happy Movie is that? Says, hello, I love Fridays. Yes, I like Fridays too. The day of Venus. There you go. Nina says, hello to Nina. And hello to Jamie, who is Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Who says, God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. You really don't want me to sing that, or do you? I don't know. The Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Please don't ask me to sing it. Kimberly says, does the UK celebrate Mother's Day? Yes, we do. We most definitely do. And yes, it costs people money when they probably don't need to spend it. You should show your mother that you love her all year round, not just one day. Susan says, yes, God be with Queen, one love. Jamie says, Sir Elliot, Duke of Shropshire, Knight of the Garter. Thank you very much. I think you're referring to my lovely new way of wearing the brooches on a ribbon. And I thought the star was quite appropriate too. Jamie says, greetings to you. Emily Rose says, what's your opinion on that documentary King Charles III? Well, that is an item on my list which I've got, and I don't mind opening with that as one of our opening questions. So basically, I can't remember who it was, but someone told me about this this program. It's kind of like a mini movie that was airing this week on Wednesday on one of my live chats. So I found about it from you guys. So I wrote it in my diary and I was looking forward to watching it. From what I knew about it before it aired, I knew that it was based on a play, on a theatre production, which has already been going on for a year or two, I think. So they were going to adapt this theatre play for TV, kind of like a mini movie. So, and it was about King Charles III when he ascends the throne. And of course, they're assuming that he does take the name King Charles III. Most of us believe he will take George VII. But anyway, that's a moot point. It's a prediction, an assumption of what might happen when he becomes king. Now, I went in with it with open eyes. The opening scene I thought was very moving. It was actually the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, and I thought that was very poignant. I actually liked that part of it because it was kind of how it may look. You know, it was kind of a prediction of the future, what might happen. And I've never seen anything portraying her funeral before, so I quite enjoyed that bit. But then they opened with dialogue, and it all went downhill from there for me. The dialogue I thought was just absolutely awful. Not only were they trying to make out that nobody knew what anything was about, so they were trying to explain things that the royals would already know in their own dialogue, which I didn't like. And then they were kind of putting sort of modern day language into Shakespearean way of usage, which I thought jarred terribly out of context. Then they kept turning to camera and looking at camera and talking directly to the viewer, which I think you have to be very careful how you use that, and you have to be very careful how you get that right. And I don't think they did. Then they completely lost the plot when they introduced the ghost of Princess Diana. I mean, completely went downhill from there. Then the plot, I mean, yes, Charles may have, you know, may raise issues about laws he may have to sign. He may be very conscientious with them, but I do not think at one moment he would jeopardize the throne and not sign anything, which is what the thread of the plot was. Then there was a subplot with Harry, who was basically rejecting his royal life. Again, I don't think that would ever happen. So it was purely speculative, and on the whole, I thought slightly damaging to the monarchy. I think it was written by people who weren't that supportive of the monarchy, and basically I hated it. So please, if you watched it, let me know what you think. But yeah, I basically just hated the whole thing. Although I did watch it all the way through, so I did stick with it. But of course, I welcome any programs about the royals. Kimberly says, I love the way you're wearing the brooch. Thank you very much. And Dawn says, that's why the kiddies were picked up early today from daycare, because it's Mother's Day. Ah, well, it's not Mother's Day here. But happy Mother's Day to everybody, if it's Mother's Day where you are. And they're going out of town. Guy and Jackie says, how is weather in England? Dull and rainy and drizzly and not very nice at all, I'm afraid. Not good news to report on the British weather. And Steve says, it was you that told me about Charles III. Well, thank you for telling me, but I did think it was an absolute pile of rubbish. What did you think? Sandy Hairston, is that? Says, are you going to Pippa's wedding? I wish. Maybe I could wear this if I did. No, I really wish I could get the inside scoop from the inside. I think with Pippa's upcoming wedding, and I did make a video on that this week, where they were kind of outside the church and they had a bit of a kiss behind a bush. A bit of a public display of affection going on there. The wedding is upcoming. I think we will see them sort of coming and going from the church and all the guests, but I think that's as far as what we will see unless they release some official photographs. So it will still be interesting and I'm still going to cover it, but yeah, I wish I was there. I really do. Guy and Jackie says, hello Elliot, love your look today. Thank you very much. I just thought I'd wear it differently. Jamie says, no, I'm going to have to miss about 30 seconds because you're fixing the internet. Well, I'm hoping you're back by the time I've read that. Dawn says, did you ever look up that show I told you about, the Royals, the Good Guys? No, I'm afraid I didn't. There's been so much going on this week. I really haven't had the time. In fact, at one point, I think one of the days, a couple of days ago, I did 4 videos in one day because there was so much going on. And then over the past couple of days, again, there's been so much going on that I could cover. What with the Irish tour and Sophie in Europe and Catherine in Luxembourg and the Queen at the horse show and Prince Philip carriage riding. Oh my goodness, so much going on. And I've still got to finish the videos on the Irish tour because today was the last day, day 4. And I'm just waiting for all the pictures to come in before I make that, because I want to make sure, as always, that I've got all the photographs and all the information on that before I present it to you guys. Kimberly says, Guy and Jackie, me too. He looks great, like a member of the royal family. Thank you. And Susan says, good night, my people. Love you. Good night to Susan, and thank you for joining us. Of course, if you do miss any of the live chat, you can always watch on catch up, because as soon as I finish the chat, it goes straight automatically onto YouTube. Guy and Jackie says, I love the Queen, don't we all? And she is looking amazing. She's 91 and looks so much younger and healthy and happy. I love the Queen too. Van Al says, the UK's Mother's Day is not the same as in the West. That's true. Your Mother's Day, at least in Canada, is this Sunday, and the UK's was in March. Yes, 2 different Mother's Days. They should really have them on the same day, I think. Jamie's back. Welcome back, Jamie, and I hope you fixed your internet connection problems. Guy and Jackie says, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth is a great woman. I think most of us would agree with that. Guy and Jackie says, the weather is not much better in Canada. And Steve says, I didn't watch it on the basis of what I read about it. Glad you didn't. Well, on Twitter, when I typed in King Charles III on Twitter to do a search, loads of people were saying how much they loved it. And I was just thinking, no, I don't. I really don't like it. So yeah, my opinion is I don't like it, but don't let that stop you from watching it. Please watch it. Make your own opinion. I didn't think the acting was particularly bad. I just thought the dialogue and the plot line, the speculation, Princess Diana's ghost, it all just let it down. And I didn't think it translated probably from the theatre to a mini movie. It probably is so much better as a theatre production. And I think I'd have to see that to really make that comparison between the two. Dawn says, I recorded Charles III and will watch it later. Now that you critiqued it, may change my mind. No, please don't let my critique influence you at all. Please go into it with your own open mind and watch it. But, you know, next week, come back and let me know what you think. Did you think the same as me? We all have different views. As I said, some people on Twitter loved it. Maybe with my critical eye, I was a bit more harsh. But let me know what you think. Jamie says, I basically hated the whole thing. I basically hated the whole thing. It was just terrible. And Doris says, hello, Elliot. Really strange seeing you from your office. Yes, of course, it's a different day. So people might be viewing me from different areas where you might be in your life on a Friday. Theta Barrera. Oh, and also, by the way, I may get some extra viewers that we don't get because people might not be available on Saturday. Anyway, Theta Barrera says, appreciate your pleasant and accurate coverage of the royals. Thank you very much. I do try. And Jamie says, let us not forget today marks 80 years to the day of the coronation of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. Yes, it does. Again, if I'd have had more time, I would have made a video for that, and maybe I will tomorrow, perhaps, or on Sunday. But yes, it does mark 80 years to the day. Guy and Jackie says, I think Prince William and Catherine and Prince Harry are doing an awesome job representing the royal family. I do too. At the moment, they haven't really put a foot wrong, perhaps apart from in the press, William's dad dancing little fiasco that went on. But apart from that, I think they're doing a fantastic job. Steve says, is it still officially treason to talk of the Queen's death, or has that law at some time been repealed? In fact, I'm not entirely sure. Although, even if it was still in existence, I don't think anybody would be tried for treason for it. Marajor422 says, hello, I'm Rose from Canada. Hello to Rose from Canada, and welcome to the live chats. Emily says, is Meghan still with Harry? Yes, very much so. And they were singing together. Meghan was at the Polo. Harry and William were playing at Royal Ascot for charity polo events, raising money for Centre Barley charity and Well Child, and the Trust I saw on William's riding outfit that he was wearing. And Meghan was there on both days. She was cheering him on publicly, and they even did a public display of affection where they kissed, and I made a video on that. So please, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. The photographs are there. It did happen, and they are still very much together, despite what any other channel or any other media outlet may say. Now, as always, I have my tea. And I'm sorry to say, I'm probably hiding it well, because I've used lots of throat spray today, but I don't have a very well throat. My throat is actually very inflamed and sore, so I may have to drink a lot more than I normally do. Take a few more sips, but I put lots of throat spray on to anaesthetize my throat. So hopefully I don't sound too bad. Guy and Jackie says, my father-in-law and Queen Mary back in the early met Queen Mary back in the early 1930s in England. We have a picture. Wow. Please send me the picture on Twitter. I'm sure everyone would love to see. We'll review it on Twitter. You can tweet me live, join the chat, or whenever you want. Please follow me on Twitter. I do put some different things out on there to what you see on Facebook and any other social media that I might have. And it's a good way to message me as well if you want to get in touch. Oh dear says, hi Elliot, snappy outfit today, looking good, thank you very much. I've had lots of comments on the ribbon. Marjol422 says, question, if you were to ask the Queen one question, what would it be? Oh, that's a tough question to ask. There's so many. I'd like a full interview, but if I had one question to ask, I think I would ask her what the most memorable moment of her reign was. Most memorable or most enjoyable? Yeah, most enjoyable. What she most enjoyed throughout her whole time as Queen. I think that would be my question. What would your questions be? And if you're watching on catch up, please let me know in the comment section what your question would be too. Thank you, Marajor, for that question. Patrick says, hello from Tunisia. Wow, I don't think I've had anyone on the live chats from Tunisia. So hello to all my Tunisian friends. I have been there once when I was a child, when I was about 6. I can't remember which area off the top of my head, but I have been there. You said we are wearing t-shirts and shorts. Well, you would be. You come from a hot country. Don't rub it in. It's just rainy and horrible here. Come on down for some sun and see. I would love to, but unfortunately I've got work to do. Jamie says, well, I'd imagine for people like us who know royalty inside out, we would think it factually incorrect, yes. So I just think it's because you know so much about Charles already. Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, we are well informed. I think from the dialogue on King Charles III, it was aimed at people that don't know a lot. Because on one scene, we had Camilla explaining to Charles and Catherine and William about royal protocol, about what happens when the Queen dies and the coronation. I mean, that wouldn't happen. They know that already. So I know that was a way of explaining it to the audience, but to me, it just looked naff, very naff, and I just didn't like it. Kimberly says, I keep checking YouTube for Diana the last 100 days, but it's not. Oh yes, right. I reckon it could be that either it's not out yet, or if people have put it out because it's not been out yet, it's been taken down. So as soon as I do see it, I will let you know what I think about it, my critique of it, or if there is a link to it anywhere. But sometimes, you know, with copyright laws and things, if things appear on YouTube, they basically scan things. So if it contains content that's recognized, it gets shut down straight away. So that's probably why it's not out there yet, I would imagine. Marilyn, hello Marilyn, says, I'm a bit late, but good evening. Well, good evening to you too. Jamie says, made me laugh how William made a self-deprecating joke about his dad dancing on the radio. Yes, that was funny. Of course, you're referring to when he and Catherine were on Radio 1, and they made a surprise appearance. And he did joke, and I thought that was very funny. Guy and Jackie says, Elliot, have you ever been invited to a royal event? No, I haven't. But I would love to. So if anybody's watching who would like to invite me to a royal event, if you work at the palace and you're watching this, I mean, I don't know that people do, but if you do, then I would love to come to a royal event, and I'd love to, you know, give my honest and fair and just opinion about that event when I come back and make a video or talk about it on my live chat. I would love to. So if anyone's watching, please, I'm here, I'm available. Please ask. Or of course, if anybody has any royal related products they'd like me to try and I can review them on camera, please get in touch. I'm always honest and fair and open with the products that I buy personally. None of my videos have ever been sponsored or anything given to me as such. Everything I've ever reviewed or tried has been things that I wanted to, have been things that I've bought. But yes, I'm open. If anyone wants to send me anything to try, I will give my fair and honest opinion of whatever it is, as I do in my videos every day. Steve says, my great aunt stepped on Queen Mary's foot, oh my goodness, during a school visit and was given the cane as punishment. Oh no, what an amazing story. And what a claim to fame. I think that's probably one of the best claim to fame I've ever heard. Emily says, is Meghan still in London with Harry? I haven't seen anything of them within the last few days, but certainly up till this week, she was there. I assume she probably still is, unless any media has spotted her in Toronto, but I haven't heard anything that she's been seen in Toronto yet. Jamie says, oh my God, I almost smashed my iPad with the stories about Meghan and Harry. Yes, there's so much rumours about them splitting up, and it's all just fake. Totally complete fake news to use to sell papers or get people to look at videos or look at their blogs. It's all fake. If you want the true information, please, again, watch my channel, or if you're really unsure about a story, send me a message, tweet me a story on Twitter, Facebook me something, and I will tell you if it's true or not. Or even if I don't know if it's true or not, I will look into it. Theta says, saw a video speculation on which tiara Meghan will wear if she marries Harry. Don't think it will be the fringe tiara. Well, I saw the same thing. I was going to make a video, and I still might. But talking about the tiaras that she might wear, I don't think it will be anything that Catherine's worn. So it won't be the halo tiara that she wore to her wedding. It won't be the Princess Diana Lover's Knot tiara. So I think we can rule those out. I also don't think it will be any of the big pieces that the Queen wears often, such as the Girls of Great Britain tiara, although I do think that would look good. It won't be the Vladimir tiara, and possibly not the Kokoschnik tiara. It won't be any of the ones that Camilla has on long-term loan, so it won't be that she wears. It won't be the honeycomb one. So that leaves to me, I think the fringe tiara could actually be an option. I really do. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably say that. Or she might even opt not to wear a tiara at all and maybe just wear flowers. Or she might even purchase her own tiara, maybe not as valuable as the royal ones, but she may opt to purchase her own tiara. Who knows? But yeah, I think it could actually be the fringe tiara if you rule out a lot of the others. The aquamarine tiara is probably a little bit too much of a statement for a wedding. The Burmese ruby would only go if she was wearing perhaps ruby accent jewellery. And I think she'd probably want to keep away from a strong colour. So I'm thinking the fringe tiara could possibly be one, unless the Queen may relent and possibly lend her the Girls of Great Britain tiara, which would be a nice touch, seeing as she's an American woman being welcomed into Britain, kind of becoming a girl of Great Britain. So it could be quite symbolic to lend her the Girls of Great Britain tiara. What do you think? Again, let me know in the comment section. But I think out of the two, probably the fringe tiara as number one option, Girls of Great Britain as number two. There you go. What do you think? And I think I've missed loads of questions while I've been talking, so I'm going to go back up and see if I can find them. There we go. Okay, Guy and Jackie says, if I can figure out how to do a picture transfer, I will. Yeah, please do. I would love to see it. Please forgive you. You are new to the computer, and I'm loving it so far. I'm a bit of a technophobe myself too, and you wouldn't think it, seeing as I make the videos and do all this, but I really do like things to just be really simple and plug in and work. I make lots of my videos on apps on my iPhone. They're very straightforward, very simple, and I would like to invest in getting a more professional editing software, but of course I'd have to learn that, how to do it properly. So yeah, I'd love to do that, and maybe as one of my goals on Patreon. For those of you who don't know, I have Patreon. You can become a site or a YouTube channel supporter by making a monthly donation, which you can change at any point or subscribe to or unsubscribe to, and you get rewards. For example, if you become a $10 a month subscriber, I will send you a personalized birthday postcard and Christmas card. You get access to Facebook only, Patreon only groups. You get to see exclusives on Patreon itself. So there's many different options. You can even just subscribe for $1 a month. It doesn't matter. But any money that does get raised that way goes back into the channel, buying software, buying products to review, that kind of thing. Or even going, when I go to my trip to London, being able to go to different royal places, attractions, so that I can review them when I do live filming from London, which I'm really looking forward to. So the link is in the description, Patreon. So it's just www.patreon.com/royal reviewer, and you will find it. Okay, McVeigh says hello, and that's Anthony. Hello to Anthony. Annette says hello, this is a surprise day. Sorry you're feeling poorly. I also had a terrible cold from walking the dog in the rain. You look as if you've been knighted. Thank you. Well, it's obviously the Queen's Star brooch on a ribbon. If you missed what I was talking about earlier, the brooch is actually come with a little hook, and you can hook ribbons, or you can put them on chains. You can wear them on bandeaus. You can wear them as chokers. So they're very versatile. You don't have to just wear them in a normal brooch fashion. So they're very, very good. McVeigh says, I'm just joining in. What did I miss? You missed quite a bit, but if you've missed anything, you can always go back and watch on catch up. I haven't quite got time to go back and say everything again. So we'll keep moving on, but please go back and feel free to watch the video from the start as well. Guy and Jackie says, your poor great aunt, I agree. I'm sure she never meant to offend Queen Mary. McVeigh is from the Caribbean, St. Lucia, and of course Prince Harry visited St. Lucia last year. I think, yeah, it was last year. So St. Lucia looked absolutely gorgeous. I have to say, from the photographs, I wished I was there with him, because St. Lucia looks amazing, and I would love to visit one day and retrace Harry's footsteps. Did you ever get to see Harry? Marjorie says, thank you for your answer. I would ask the Queen what she missed the most of her father, King George VI. Yes, that would be a very poignant question to ask. Oh dear says, Charles and Camilla are coming to Canada for Canada's 150th celebration. Unfortunately, where are we? Oh, I just missed that question. I think I've missed quite a bit. Unfortunately, they won't be coming out to the Rockies. We'll catch them on CBC though. Yes, and of course it is the 150th celebration. I have the date in my diary so that I can wear my Canadian maple leaf for that live chat. Dawn says, are you going to live stream tomorrow night watching your show? No, because something happened in the week that's kind of put me out of sorts. Of course, I plan to watch Eurovision, which is why the show is today and not tomorrow, because Eurovision's on at the same time, and I never ever miss Eurovision. But unfortunately, I forgot that months ago, I'd agreed to go to a family party, and I didn't know what day it was on. So my parents reminded me that the party was on Saturday. So unfortunately, I can't split myself in two. So I'm going to record Eurovision, which I don't like to do because I do like to watch it live. I'm going to go to the family party, and I'm going to come back and watch it and watch the recorded version of it. So I'm still going to watch it, but it won't be live. So I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'll film myself watching it or not, but it won't. But I can't give you a time if I do. If I do pop on to do a little something, it will just be me popping on because I'm able to do so. So I can't commit to a show tomorrow, but I may pop on, I might not, depends what time I get back from the party. Eurovision is 3 hours long, so if I go to the party at 6 in the afternoon, I may not be back to be able to do one. So we'll see how it goes. Jamie's question would be, excuse me, Your Majesty, did you get the dress in Primark? Oh no, what a question. I mean, I'm sure the Queen, you know, approves of Primark, but I don't think she has her clothes from there. Of course, and in fact, Angela Kelly might take more offence, Jamie. In fact, I wouldn't say that to Angela Kelly. You've read her book, you know. Kimberly says, looks like everyone loves the way you're wearing the brooch. Thank you. In fact, I like it. It just came to me. Put it on a ribbon. So I did. Guy and Jackie says, Elliot, have you ever toured any of the royal palaces? I've done the Tower of London, which I suppose you could kind of say once was kind of a royal palace. But I haven't been to Buckingham Palace. I've stood outside, but I haven't been in, which I'm hoping to do in August when I go to London. But I would like to see all of them, and I particularly would like to go to Windsor Castle. Okay, Mavrilon, is that? Mavrilon says, who will accompany the Queen now that Prince Philip is retiring from public events? Well, he hasn't quite retired yet. He's still accompanying her. He retires in October officially, sort of after the Balmoral break in the summer. I think personally, of course, all of their children will step up, but Prince Charles is already pretty much doing, you know, as much as he can. Princess Anne is pretty much doing everything she can. In fact, she's comes out as being the hardest working royal year on year. I think Edward might step up, so might the Duke of York, but I think in particular, her main +1 will be Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, who I think will be using it as an opportunity to learn a little bit more from the Queen about how to be monarch. So I think he'll just use it as a great opportunity to learn how to be king. And actually, I think that's rather nice, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing him more as her +1. Diane Jackie says, what an honour it would be to meet Her Majesty. I agree. In fact, I probably would get completely tongue-tied. Marie says, hello from the New York State. I love your videos. Thank you very much for watching. Caroline says, hi, I didn't know you were doing a live chat. Yes, again, it's because of the things I have to do tomorrow. Eurovision and a family party. So that's why I'm on a Friday. This is just a one-off. Next week will be Saturday again. And Doris says, wow, Elliot, I just noticed how many subscribers you have now. Congratulations. I know it's something like 7,700. It's amazing. And we've just gone past 5 million channel views in total, which is amazing. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for your support. I really do appreciate it. Lorne West says, any info on the no ring, no bring to Pippa's wedding? Well, first of all, I don't think that ever was an official thing. I think that was just press speculation to drum up story and a little bit of hysteria and interest about if Harry would be taking Meghan. I see no reason as to why he shouldn't be able to take Meghan. Traditionally, British churches are kind of fairly small. So, of course, you have numbers to think about. And, of course, Pippa and James will want close family and friends to be there. But I'm sure they could squeeze Meghan in for Harry. So I think my prediction is she'll be going. But we'll see. Of course, we can't truly say until the event actually happens. And yes, as Dawn Moore says, I would love to see Meghan at Pippa's wedding too. Marie says, how can Harry marry a Catholic? Because the rules of succession were changed. So if Harry married Meghan, who is a Roman Catholic, he wouldn't lose his place in the line of succession, but also she could choose to convert to the Church of England if she wanted to, which would kind of be easier because she would be attending probably more Church of England events in Church of England churches than what she ever would Catholic ones if she obviously marries Harry and moves over here permanently. So she may choose to convert anyway. Jamie says, Ireland didn't even get into the Eurovision final. The whole contest is rubbish anyway. I mean, as far as geography knowledge goes, I don't think Israel and Australia are even in Europe. No, I mean, it's kind of gone a little bit beyond Europe now. Australia is in it. I think the USA were in it one year as well. To be honest, I don't really mind. It's a singing competition, and if other countries want to join in, I don't have a problem with that. But I do enjoy it. I know it's kind of naff but good. So I like it. It's just a little bit of fun. And the political voting at the end always just outstands me. It's just simply mind-boggling how they think that it's not. People can't see the truth, that they're just doing political voting. So I watch it and I just think it's really funny, and I just really indulge in it. Annette says, saw your video of Prince Philip during yes, the carriage driving, and the footman looked concerned. It was priceless. Yes, of course, Prince Philip, still active, is doing even more carriage driving now. So I did some videos on that too. And he just looked absolutely amazing still doing his carriage driving. So I don't think he's going to have an inactive retirement. I think he'll fill it with more sports and hobbies and things that he wants to do in life. And Doris says, have to go, my boss is kicking me out of the office. Have a nice chat. Goodbye to Doris, and say hello to your boss for me. Kimberly says, Elliot, have you read the autobiography of Henry VIII by Margaret George? No, but I have read other ones on him. So because I like to read about different royals, I haven't read all of them on the same person. So no, I haven't read that one. But I'm glad to hear that you thought it was great, and perhaps I'll put that on my list. Dawn says, I think the honeycomb tiara suits Camilla with her big hair. I would agree. And that is not said in a bad way. No, I like Camilla's big hair. It suits the way she wears her hair. Her hair is always impeccable and very full and nice. And if you've watched the videos recently, in fact, one person commented on one of the videos of the Irish tour. I'm not sure who, I can't remember. But they said she's looking different. And I have to say, her face is looking really healthy. It's almost as if, and I'm not going to speculate, but it's almost as if she has had something done, whether it's facials or Botox even, I don't know, but her face does look completely rested. It looks really rested, and I think she's looking a little bit different, and I think she's looking really good. Let me know what you think. Guy and Jackie says, when is Pippa getting married? It is on a Saturday in about 11 days time, so not this next Saturday, Saturday after, I think. Is it the 27th? I think it might be the 27th. Or yeah, I'm sure it's 20. Can someone do a Google check? I think it's the 27th. Steve says, have you ever done a video on the different tiaras? No, I haven't. I did one on one of the Queen Victoria's tiaras that was going to be sold, which we still haven't heard any updates on yet. So no, I haven't, but I really wanted to. I did start to write one on, it was the fringe tiara, but then I got waylaid with lots of other videos and news events that came up, so I never picked it up. But I did intend to do videos on the royal jewellery. That still is one of my aims, if I had more time to do it, but there seems to be so much with news stories coming up that I just haven't had the chance. Caroline says, what are you wearing around your neck? It is the normal it is the normal star brooch that the Queen wears. It's my normal replica, which I normally wear there. But I put it on a ribbon because it actually has a little hook. Each of the brooches, I didn't realise when I bought them, has a little hook. And you can thread ribbons, chains, you can wear them in your hair, you can put bobbles on them. So they're very, very good, very versatile. You can wear them in all kinds of different ways. So I just thought, because of Sophie Wessex with the European royals, for Queen Sonja and King Harold's 80th birthday parties where everyone dressed up. I thought I'd look a little bit smarter today. Jamie says, look how all the wedding is planned and everybody has forgotten the fact they are just going out still. Well, of course, they're still technically, well, I suppose they're fiancé. They're fiancés, I should say. Guy and Jackie says, you're doing a wonderful job with your channel. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate all the support. Oh dear says, really looking forward to your live London videos. Me too, I'm looking forward to making them. Dawn says, I would love a video on tiaras. Well, I really want to make one too. They are all over things like Pinterest, but with no background information. Would love background stories on them. Well, I have the official Queen's Diamonds book, so I can give you all the official information on the tiaras. McVeigh says, I prefer the Spencer tiara for Markle. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that she could have it lent as a nod to Harry's mother, Diana, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I would be amazed and outstanding, you know, it would be amazing if it did happen. I'd be really happy. It would probably be my preferred choice of something for her to wear, but I don't think it will happen. Theta says there is a bandeau that hasn't been seen since the Queen Mother wore it in the 30s or 40s. Very Art Deco, but not as big as the fringe for ladies. I can't quite picture the one you mean. If you do find a picture of it, please send it to me on Twitter. I will have a look to see if there's anything that I can find of it. But yes, perhaps, you know, some jewellery that hasn't been worn for a long time could be given to Meghan to wear. And of course, it's not uncommon for the members of the royal family to dismantle pieces of jewellery and reuse the gems and have them reset in a more modern way. So perhaps Meghan could do that. Nina says, do you have a video about tiaras? I don't, but I would love to make one. Guy and Jackie says, loving the fresh flowers in the water jug. Well, they're actually the same as last week. They've done really, really well, and they haven't wilted that much. And of course, I change them every Saturday, so I still have last week's flowers. But for next week, hopefully I'll get some new ones. But they are still doing really, really well. Vanal says, or Candice says, I think the Tech Crescent tiara might be a nice choice for Meghan. I had forgotten about that one, but I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not, that one. To me, sometimes it looks a bit harsh, but I think it depends how you wear it, how you have your hair. So she could make it look a bit softer. Emily says, does Harry have any pets? I don't think he does. Dawn says, oh Elliot, I'm sorry you're going to miss Eurovision. You were looking forward to it. Yeah, I was, but of course family comes first, and it's actually a 90th party, so I will be going to that, and I can watch Eurovision on catch up. That's fine. Okay. Sorry, I'm quite a bit behind on the questions, but I was doing a lot of talking. Jamie says, please do film live the Eurovision. It depends if I get time, it really does. Jamie says, have to say the brooch looks extremely well in the ribbon. Wear that in public and you'll be stopped for pictures. Well, thank you very much. I would love that, I really would. Theta says, notice Dawn is interested in a documentary on Royal Jewels. Really good one, Royal Jewels, Queen Elizabeth II and Queen Mary and Princess Diana. There are some out there about Princess Diana's jewels on YouTube. I have watched them, they are quite good. Please feel free to find them and watch them yourselves as well. They are really interesting, but I really would like to do my own as well. Kimberly says, I think it would, I would get spooked if I had a chance to visit the Tower of London. It's really interesting, and the guards, the guards of the tower are amazing. They are so funny and so full of knowledge. So please go. Don't be scared. It's an amazing day out. And of course, you get to see the crown jewels, which are amazing. Dawn says, I would like to see William step up as the +1 too. I think he will. Annette says, I'd never heard of Eurovision until last week, so looked it up. Of course, the winners I heard of, lived such sheltered. I lived such a sheltered life, and just really ever watched television. I was always too busy. If you do get a chance to watch Eurovision, please do. It is kind of its own special brand. The Europeans, other countries in Europe, take it extremely seriously, but in the UK, we kind of see it as a bit of a joke. So that's the way that we look at it. And if you look at it as a bit of a joke, you can kind of get into it a bit more, I think. Jamie says, Philip could do a better job as king than William, not offending his constitutional position. That's just a fact of life. Letter says, is Prince Edward being groomed to take over the upkeep of Windsor Great Park? He's going to be the Duke of Edinburgh, and he's going to take on the Duke of Edinburgh award as far as being the main patron of it. I don't know about Windsor Great Park. Of course, that will fall to Charles. So if Charles wants him to, then it could be. I do think Prince Edward is going to take on a lot of his father's charities once they become available. Guy and Jackie says, I enjoy your channel because it does not have smut about the royals. Well, of course, I just try and be accurate and truthful and honest and open all the time. I mean, obviously, if there was a story to come up that did involve that, of course, I would tackle it in hopefully a tasteful way and not be sensationalist about it. But of course, if it happens, then I report on it. So, you know, just like the Prince William dad dancing video, I mean, I could have taken a hard line and said, well, that's a private life. I'm not going to cover it. But then I thought, well, it's everywhere. It's on the news. It's in the newspapers. It's a story that's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. I'd be silly not to. So I just tried to handle it in a tasteful way, which I think sometimes you have to just do. And of course, you can't deny sometimes that things happen. It would just be like putting your head in a bucket. Coach DJ says, question, is it true that Charles plans to sell Balmoral when he becomes king? I very much doubt it. It has too many strong family connections. But of course, nothing official. I don't think he's ever said that to anybody. And yes, you can't imagine Balmoral not being owned by the royal family. I agree. Oh dear says, maybe Camilla has stopped smoking. That takes years off you. She may have done. Again, who knows? I haven't seen her sort of, you know, smoking or not smoking to be able to say that. But she does look a lot younger. Kimberly agrees, Camilla looks different. And Steve saying Pippa's wedding is on May the 20th, which is next week. So next Saturday. So we'll be able to talk about it in the live chat on Saturday. In fact, I'm going to write that in my diary note because I thought it was a few weeks ahead. So I'm going to put Pippa's wedding in my diary. So we can talk about it next week. That'll be a really nice thing to talk about. Okay, Theta says, is the honeycomb tiara called the Greville? Yes, because the jewels were donated by Mrs. Greville. Basically, Queen Mary was bequeathed by Mrs. Greville a box of jewels. And when she opened it, there was tiaras and necklaces, and some she had reset. She had the tiara remade. The tiara was in a different form, and she had it made into the honeycomb shape that it is now. And it does look amazing on Camilla. Jamie says her wedding is 8 days' time on the 20th. There we go. Caroline says, got to go, catching your train home from work. Let me know next time you're on live chat. Next week, Saturday, back to normal, 10 o'clock GMT. Kimberly says, I sure hope the royal family buys Victoria's tiara. I hope so too. Or at the very least, I hope it doesn't get sold and leaves the country. I think there should be some kind of preservation order put on it to mean that if it does get sold, it stays in the country at least. And maybe it can go on display, which would be, I think, a lot better. And of course, I've always said I think it would really suit Catherine as well. Guy and Jackie says, oh my, Pippa is getting married on our anniversary, 27 years this year. Congratulations for next week for 27 years. If you're here, please remind me and I'll wish you a happy anniversary. Jamie says, if Camilla is legally queen, but they don't admit that, then would they call her Your Majesty or Your Royal Highness? Oh, that's a tricky one, because no one's ever been called the Princess Consort. It's always been Queen Consort if you're married to the King. So I don't think it'll ever come to that. I think she will always be Her Majesty the Queen. Of course, Queen Consort, not Queen Regnal. So I still maintain I don't think she will end up being called the Princess Consort. I think legally it's not a title that's ever been used. Legally, nothing's been changed in law to mean that she can't be queen. The church recognised the marriage and sanctioned it. There's no reason why she can't be queen. Kimberly says, again, everyone loves the way you're wearing the brooch. Thank you. Candice says, Camilla has most definitely had something done to her face. In fact, I'd say her transformation began just before she and Charles married. Well, of course, she has all the best medical professionals involved now. She has professional, probably hair and makeup, and has done for years. But I do think there is something smoother, particularly perhaps about her cheeks. She looks really smooth, and the forehead and everything looks well rested. I mean, she doesn't look like, as we say in this country, mutton dressed as lamb. She doesn't look like she had anything extreme done. But I think maybe some little tweaks. They could be surgical, they could be non-surgical, but whatever it is, or even if she's had nothing done, she looks absolutely amazing. I really do think. Jamie says, I was talking about Harry and Meghan. Ah, okay, yes. Harry and Meghan. Guy and Jack says, Elliot, if there is a press department at the palace, I could see you working there. I would love to. Again, I probably live a bit too far away, but if it was worth relocating, if there was a job worth it, then perhaps. Kimberly says, did any of Wallis Simpson's jewellery get bought by the royal family? I don't think so. If it did, it was private. But I do believe a lot of Wallis's jewellery went to auction. I think didn't oh, I forgot her name now. A big celebrity in America. She was well known for jewellery. She bought some. I forget her name. But I think it basically just went out to auction. And of course, we'll never know entirely if any jewellery got bought by the royals. It wouldn't have been announced. Fetters says, good jewellery documentary called Royal Jewels, Queen Elizabeth II. Yes, that's a very good one. I think I've seen that one. Nina says, I hope to see Meghan and Harry are at Pippa's wedding. I think they will. And I want to see her going too. Guy and Jackie says, Kimberly, I trust the jewellery would be returned to the royals without saying. I don't know. It might not. Of course, you know, it wouldn't necessarily be bequeathed to them. In fact, I did read once that Wallis was kind of tricked by her agent or her attorney or something into signing a lot of her property over to her in the will. There was a big thing about it. So I think it could have been privately sold. Odia says, oh, do go to the tower. It's a great place to visit, so much to see. Yes, it's amazing. Highly recommended. Better says, love to see a video you do on Royal Jewels. I really want to. Kimberly says, I think all of Wallis's jewellery was sold at auction. I think it was too. That was my initial thought on it. Emily says, do you still remember the day Diana died? Yes, I do. I was about 14, 15, and I remember waking up and the news being on and walking into my parents' bedroom, and there was news of the crash and that Princess Diana had died. And I remember climbing into bed with my parents and watching it on the news, and it was just absolutely, I mean, I just can't remember ever feeling grief for anyone that I'd never met before, and that was the first time that I ever had. And it sort of had a powerful impact that even though I never knew her, that she'd actually touched so many people. So it was a very poignant moment, and yes, I do remember. Guy and Jackie says, I did not know that. Kimberly says, I do, it was so sad, I keep thinking it had to be a cruel joke. She was loved by the world, indeed she was. Jamie says, I can imagine the Queen being one of them mums who always compares the rest of the kids to Edward. He's the good married one. Well, I think she's kind of proud of Charles now too. And what, how can we not forget Anne? I mean, such a hard-working member of the family, sort of a key integral part. Jamie says, I went to my cousin's house and they had a fridge magnet of Balmoral, and they asked where they got it. And did they know what it was? And they had no clue. Oh no! Imagine having something so nice and not knowing what it is. Shame on them, shame. Kimberly says, Wallace Simpson's jewellery auction was by Sotheby's. I wasn't suffering sometimes. The jewels I think were definitely auctioned off. Steve says, is Prince Philip Prince Consort as Albert was? No, not officially. I believe he should have been, though. I think the good time to have done it would have been at the Silver Jubilee. I mean, it's still not too late. They could still make him Prince Consort out of, you know, honour and thanks to what he's done for the Queen. But no, he's not the official Prince Consort. Van Al says, if you could, Elliot, what position would you like at the palace? Oh, I think private secretary to the Queen. I would love to be private secretary to the Queen. Emily says, God forbid, but if Prince Charles and the Cambridges pass away, who will be the next king or queen? It would be Harry. So if all the Cambridges passed away, just hypothetically speaking, and Charles, then it would fall to Harry as the next in line. Dawn Moore says, Elizabeth Taylor, that's the actress I was thinking of. I couldn't think of the name. Yes, Elizabeth Taylor. Didn't she buy the panther? And there was a flamingo as well. Oh, I love the flamingo. Imagine me wearing the flamingo. Wallace had some amazing jewellery too. Dawn says Elliot would be the Duke of Shropshire in our eyes. Thank you. I'm going to call myself the unofficial Duke of Shropshire. Cease Keepman says Elizabeth Taylor. Yes, it was definitely Elizabeth Taylor. I just couldn't think of her name. Guy and Jackie says, I wonder why, if there were royal jewels given to Wallace. I don't think a lot of them were given to her. I think she bought most of her jewels. Why, out of respect, the royal family would they not be returned? Because they weren't ever the royal families. I think I think she was lavished gifts of jewellery, and I think because you can tell the style of them, the panther, the flamingo, everything was kind of her taste. So that's why I do believe. And of course, they were private property. Fletcher says, wasn't Princess Michael left the panther earrings by the Duchess of Windsor? Now, I did hear that. And I haven't looked to see if there's any photographs of her wearing them. I don't think there is, because perhaps of offending the Queen. So I don't know officially if that is true or not. But perhaps we may see her wearing them once the Queen is no more. Maybe. Who knows? Jamie says, what's the Duke of Gloucester's wife's name again? I'm getting confused. They're the Catholic ones. And you're saying get a P.O. box. I keep saying I'm going to look into it. But I haven't yet. And Jamie says, lots of people missing tonight, lots of first times. Yes, it's very interesting doing the chat on a different day. Because, of course, you get different people. Some people can't ever make Saturdays. So it is always slightly, you know, maybe good to do live chat on a different day. Now, I'm going to check Twitter to see if anyone's sent me any tweets. So please, if you want to send me a royal tweet, then please do. Or even of your teacup or anything that you want, really. Okay, so I'm just logging into my phone. And I can't see any yet. I always do like it when you always send me lots of tweets, and especially like to see. I have one. Here we go. It's from Dawn, and she says, I remembered and thought, oh, Friday. So yes, so I did kind of put out on Facebook and Twitter that the live chat was going to be tonight and not the normal time of tomorrow. Going back up, I think I've missed a few questions. I think Jamie asked me a few questions. Jamie spoke about the Balmoral magnet. Jamie says, what's Duke of Gloucester's wife's name? I think you mean Brigitte. Brigitte, I think that's the way you say it. And again, lots of first timers. And Guy and Jack says, sorry, I assumed that Wallis had acquired royal jewellery. No, I mean, there was nothing for her to particularly acquire because she was never married to him at the time, at that time. So no, I don't believe she had any royal jewellery. Everything was purchased by herself. H.A. Bracken says the Duke of Windsor bought her most of her jewellery. And Van Aal said you'd make a great private secretary to the Queen. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think I do a good job. Guy and Jackie says, what did you say Prince Harry is next in line for? That was, someone said a question, what if the Cambridges were hypothetically all to pass away and Charles, who would next be in line to the throne? And that would be Harry. Jamie says, I never send tweets during the chat. I do tweet you often though. Yes, you do. Jamie is a regular Royal Reviewer tweeter. Or Twitterer, if that's what you want to say. Odia says, yes, please get a PO box. Would be so much fun for all of us to send you Christmas cards. It would, then I could show you them all on chat. That would be really good. I really should. I keep saying that I'm going to, and I really should. Okay, Guy and Jackie says, Van Aal girl, yes, I'm very handsome private secretary. Oh, thank you. I'm sure Her Majesty would not regret it. I would endeavour to do a really good job. Kimberly says, Sotheby's jewellery, formerly the property of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. It's still on Sotheby's website if you want to see the jewellery. That would be thank you for that tip, actually. That's a good way of looking at what the different pieces were. I think I might do that for a video. East Coast says, actress Liz Taylor bought a feather brooch from Wallis Simpson's collection. Wouldn't it be good if all the collection could all come together for one exhibition? That would be amazing. Jamie says, what's the difference between butlers, footmen and equerries? Well, they all hold different positions within the royal household, and they all have different duties. So what I'd like to do, again, I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to make a video on the different positions in the royal household, because I think that would be very interesting. And one of the things I do like about these live chats is the fact that it gives me ideas for videos. And some of the videos I have made, or I've got on my list to make, are ones that you suggested. So it's really good to know what you want to know about. Oh, and by the way, I think it was the footman in the King Charles III show that I hated. Basically, they don't just stand around. They don't just stand around watching the royals eat their dinner. They do go, and the royals do tend to kind of serve themselves. So that was a bit of an inaccuracy too, which I didn't like. Oh, Dawn's just tweeted me, so I'm going to have a look at that too. And Emily says, does Harry have any servants? I don't think so. He may have a cleaner that comes in and does his home at Kensington Palace, which is a small cottage on the in the grounds opposite Diana's former apartments. He may occasionally have a chef come in, but I don't think he has any, proper full-time staff, servants as such. Only the staff that work in the offices. Oh, Dawn sent me a picture of her glass cup. It's not a teacup, it's a glass. It's a Hogwarts glass. And she's got some nice flowers in the background too, which I can see. Of course, everyone knows I like flowers too. So thank you for sending me that photo. I do like to see what you're doing while you're watching the chats too. Jamie says, imagine what the Queen would say if you were her private secretary and showed up wearing the same brooches. Oh, I'd have to talk to her about which one she's wearing on the day so that we don't clash. It's a bit like asking your best friend which dress they're wearing if you've both got the same thing. East Coast says, why don't more people talk about Princess Anne? I think because she's a very kind of silent, get on with it type character, that she kind of goes under the radar a bit. And again, I'd love to do more videos about her, but I don't always have the time to cover every single royal, which is unfortunate because I'd love to. Candice says, was that the Prince of Wales's brooch? Oh, by the way, I can actually buy a replica Prince of Wales feathers. In fact, you can buy a replica of the one that Diana wore with the emerald drop, which now Camilla's got. So maybe that could be on my to-buy list as well. And Theta says there's a documentary on Duchess of Windsor's jewels. Yes, there is. Kimberly says, thinking about making my mom a peach cobbler for Mother's Day. Wow, I would love to try a peach cobbler. Please let me know what it tastes like. Dawn says, would love to know Her Majesty's thoughts if Elliot showed up with the same brooch. I'm sure she'd have something to say, but I would always make sure that we didn't clash. Guy and Jackie says, I'm sure Her Majesty would get a kick out of the brooch. Imitation is the best form of flattery. Well, of course, this was sold from her own website, so she can't really contest it, I'm sure. Guy and Jackie says, oh no, I've read that one. Thomas says, good evening. Good evening to Thomas. Do you think the Prince of Wales will take the name George as king? Yes, I think he'll be George VII and not Charles III. But not just that it's a more neat name. I think he'll want to, because he's been so long Prince Charles and the Prince of Wales, I think he'll want to have a little bit of separation between the two. I think he knows that he's got to be different as king than what he is as Prince of Wales. And I think he'll want a bit of a change, you know, a very definite, you know, that was me as Charles, that was me as Prince of Wales, this is me as George, this is me as your king. And I think that's why he'll do that. And also continuity from his grandfather. Jamie says, my mum is away today and she's staying in a hotel called the Prince of Wales. Well, there you go. Let's hope she has an amazing time. Guy and Jackie says, Princess Anne is a very classy lady. I would agree there. Political Vector says, good evening, Elliot from San Francisco, California. Thank you for all your videos this week. You're looking quite dapper this evening. Any exciting things happening this weekend in Shropshire? Not particularly in Shropshire. I've got a private family party I'm attending tomorrow. And then there's Eurovision, which I really want to watch. But I'm watching it on catch up. But nothing else of particular interest happening in Shropshire, I have to say. Jamie says, is the Equerries the ones in military uniform? I'm going to make a video on it. And then I will show the differences. I've already formed an idea in my head about what I'm going to do. They'll have different sections. And I'm going to show kind of like a different profile on the different ones, sort of, you know, what the job is, what the role entails, the uniform, you know, if it's a live-in position or if it's a position they have to sort of come into the palace every day to do. Do they follow the Queen from palace to palace? So I'm forming in my head, just as I'm sitting here talking about how I'm going to make that video. Yale Chen says, do you think Meghan or Harry will get married? I do, personally, but of course that's not official. It's not the official line. They're still seeing each other, but they aren't. There's been no announcements, but I do personally think they will. Steve says, it will be strange referring to him as King George after all this time. I think you'd be surprised about how people will kind of, because the title's different, it's king and not prince, I think people will, it will be strange, but I think people will adapt a lot quicker than what you think. Guy and Jackie says, we have Prince of Wales Hotel in Canada, on Niagara on the lake. It's very nice. And Jamie says, I love watching clips of the Queen arriving to the sound of God Save the Queen. I would sing it, but I'm not sure you will want to hear it with a sore throat. Jamie says, I'm not watching Eurovision. The party will be 10 times better, even if it was at a retirement home. Yes. But I still like it. I love Eurovision. Dawn is in Sudbury. And Steve says, have you got a plan for what you will do on the channel when the Queen passes away? Well, somebody said to me Are you going to sort of pre-get together photos? Are you going to kind of pre-make a video just in case? Because of course, when it happens, most news channels in the UK already have pre-made pieces that they can just cut to straight away. So I may be developing something along those lines, something that I can regularly update, I can change, so that when the time happens, I've only got to fill in the basic of information just to make it relevant to the day, and then it's good to go. So that may be something that I'm going to take an angle on, and also with the Duke as well, because you never know. Guy says, Elliot, have you done a video on all royal titles? I've done one on protocol, and I've done one a little bit on titles and you know, constitutionally what you can call each royal. But again, yes, that's another good idea. If that's the kind of thing that you want to hear about, I could do one of those too. In fact, I'm going to make a note. So I've got 3 ideas so far just from this live chat on videos that you guys want to hear. So again, it's very, very useful. So thank you for Jamie for giving me an idea, and thank you to yourself for giving me an idea. If there's ever anything that you guys want to know about, please just send me a message about, you know, on YouTube or on Twitter, or send me a tweet on what you guys want to know about. And then I can go into it in a lot more detail. And of course I can do all the research into, you know, exactly what the different points are. Jamie says, who would even waste £2 voting? Well, yeah, I don't actually vote, I just watch it. Guy and Jackie are in Oslo, Ontario. And Jamie says, will you ever wear all black for the live chats when Her Majesty passes? I think I would. Dawn says, drive through it often on my way to Kingston. Vanal says, Elliot, you should take a sip of tea. I'm sure your throat must be sore. It is, actually. Theta says, I hear there is some controversy about digging a basement under the orangery. Not controversy, it's got to get past all the local planning laws, but once it's got consent, it can go ahead. It'll probably take, you know, a couple of years for it to get completed, and for the vacant apartments to become available for Harry and possibly his future wife Meghan. Jamie says, is the teacup on your left from Clarence House? No, it's actually from Laura Ashley, and I'm not sponsored by Laura Ashley. I've had it years, and it's actually a candle. Guy and Jackie says, talking about Kingston, saying it's a beautiful place. Jamie says, you need to make a video detailing all the tiaras. It confuses me and a lot of people. Again, that is, you know, now that you guys have said that that's what you want to know, sometimes it's easy for me to kind of just assume that sometimes you know things. So, so yeah, that's another thing that I could get into and really explore. Political Vet says, Elliot, did Meghan get the nod from Pippa to attend the wedding? But of course we don't know officially. I think she'll be going to the ceremony and the reception, but you know, who knows? Unfortunately, we don't have that level of insight. We just have to react to what happens. Loretta says, I made it to your first Friday live chat. Well, hopefully it won't be, it won't normally be a Friday. It'll go back to being Saturday. But for this week, it's a Friday. And thank you for saying I look dashing. Thank you very much. Jack says, who are you? Do you mean me? I am the Royal Reviewer. Jamie says, I think you need to make more jewellery videos. Yes, well, of course, it's something that interests me too. I have lots of books on it. Now, I'm going to check my list at this point because we've had a fantastic chat. I'm going to check to see if we've... Oh, I made a video on the Queen driving her Jaguar car at Windsor. It was following a church service, I do believe, and she looked amazing driving her Jaguar. What did you think about that? And again, I'm not sponsored by Jaguar. But if Jaguar want to donate a car to me so that I can review, please do. I say tongue in cheek. Okay, we spoke about King Charles III. We spoke about the Irish tour. Oh, Sophie Wessex visiting. No, it wasn't Luxembourg. It was Oslo in Norway. It was Catherine that went to Luxembourg, and she was surrounded by a whole host of European royalty. So I hope you enjoyed the video on that. And she looked absolutely stunning in her green dress. In fact, all the royals looked amazing. One of the princes shaved off his beard during the dinner ceremony, which I thought was a little bit mischievous, but it was really funny as well. So I hope you all liked that too. Catherine was in Luxembourg for the 1867 Treaty of London, and I think it was the 150th, if I remember correctly, anniversary of that event. She looked stunning as usual, and seemed to be having a very good time on her solo day tour. And I recently, within the past couple of hours, put out a video on the Queen wearing 3 different headscarves at the Royal Windsor Horse Show. And of course, I really, as you all know, if you've watched before, I like the headscarf look. And I really hope it makes a comeback. What do you think? Kimberly says, is there anything at all left of the palace that Cardinal Wolsey made? I think, isn't that Hampton Court that Henry took over? I do believe. So yes, there are original parts of Hampton Court still left, which you can visit. It's open to the public. I think that's the one you mean about Cardinal Wolsey. Guy and Jackie says, sorry, I have a migraine coming on today, not spelling correctly. And it's nice chatting to a royal follower. And that's Guy and Jackie to Dawn. Jamie says, it comforts me to know what's on the other side of the door. For those of you who want to know what's on the other side of the door, it's his, and then there's silence. And yes, the information is available to patrons on Patreon. So head over to Patreon, Royal Reviewer on Patreon, become a patron, you'll get exclusive content, behind the scenes content. I'm going to be making exclusive videos for patrons only. And it's a great way to contribute towards the channel and also get rewards. I wouldn't have signed up for the Patreon scheme if it was just take. I like it because it's also me giving back to you, giving back exclusives, giving back rewards. So that justifies it in my mind of being that actually you're getting something for the subscription, which you can cancel at any moment, by the way. So even if you've only got $1, it's worked in dollars, $1 a month to spare, just to become a site supporter. That's great. All the money goes towards supporting the channel and enabling me to bring you more and better quality videos, and also off-site videos, which I'm hoping to make. So please head on down to Patreon. You can get it as an app on your phone as well, and it's available as a website. Jamie says, yes, the headscarves, they always make her look younger. I like them, I really do. And she has such a fantastic collection of headscarves. And the floral ones are amazing too. Theta says, Crown Prince Haakon of Norway. Yes, it was Crown Prince Haakon of Norway. He did shave his beard during the dinner, which was incredible. But I preferred him with the beard, I have to say. Jamie says, my favourite headscarves are the blue, white and gold ones. They look so stylish and look expensive. Indeed they do. And Dawn loves the yellow and blue nautical scarf I've seen her wear. Well, she has so many. She's got hundreds and hundreds of headscarves, and they're mostly silk. Guy and Jackie is talking to Dawn. Steve says, are the Monaco royal family related to the British? Well, Queen Victoria's children married off into Europe, so there are links all around European royalty to the British royal family, mostly through Queen Victoria's descendants. And Jamie says, did you see the Norwegian prince dabbing? Yes, I did. It was very funny. They certainly look very characterful, to say the least. Okay. Coming up this week on Tuesday the 16th, we have the Duke of Cambridge visiting the Royal Marsden Hospital in Sutton. We have Prince William and Harry on Thursday. They are going to present the Diana Award at St James's Palace. And this is one of the awards to mark her 20th, well, the 20th anniversary of her sad passing. And then, of course, we have Pippa Middleton's wedding on Saturday. And of course, the live chat is back to being Saturday too. Jamie says she has enough scarves to go repulsed style. I'm not quite sure what repulsed style is. Yes, she's certainly got lots and lots and lots of headscarves. Physical Vector says, love the Hermes scarves and the Jag. I like the Jag too. Glad to see the Queen out and about at all the horse events, which she loves. And they're near and dear to your heart too. And Jamie says, off the shard. Dawn says, sorry again, Elliot, Guy and Jackie. So no, don't worry, you can have a conversation, that's fine. One of the things I like about this live chats and the channel is that it does connect people. And last week we had people talking about wanting to be pen pals, and I thought that was really nice too. So I really don't mind, that's fine. Van Al says, I really enjoy being a patron. It's a great honour, and I feel like I'm sneaking a peek into your private world. Well, of course, you know, some of the things that perhaps I wouldn't put out on YouTube, I put on Patreon, because it's nice to give something extra to those people who give extra to the channel and support the channel. And don't worry, I'm never going to make the videos exclusive to patrons only. I'm still going to make the videos for YouTube, but it's just something extra to reward the patrons who support the site, and for me to give something back to them too. Jamie says, Elliot, what do you get a Duke of Edinburgh award for? Well, you have to do, there's 3 tiers, so there's a bronze, a silver and a gold award, and you have to do lots of different challenges, and you have to go, for example, you know, hiking so many miles, staying out, doing trips away, overnight trips, 3-day trips, all kinds of different outdoor pursuits. And it takes a long time to do. It probably takes about 5 years to go from the bronze to the silver to the gold. And then when you get the gold, you get to meet, it's usually the Duke of Edinburgh or Prince Edward, and they actually present you with an award. If I'd have known at the time when I was at school that you could, you know, get to meet the Duke of Edinburgh by doing the D.A.V. award, I would have done it myself, but I didn't know. I didn't know that's what the outcome was. And of course, I think it's up to, is it up to 18-year-olds can do it. So of course I'm too old now. But for those of you who are that age, and it was a great way to meet a royal, even if you're not that sporty. But it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and you need lots of determination to be able to get through it. And oh, Jamie says Rapunzel style off the shard. Of course, let down your headscarf from the shard. Guy and Jackie said, I was talking to us, still talking to Dawn, should I say? So yes, what an amazing royal week. It's been very busy, and I've still got videos to complete from this week, which I'm hopefully going to be doing soon. Oh, Jamie says it's 14 to 24-year-olds. Oh, so it's older than what I thought. I'm still too old. I'm still too old to do it. I'm older than 24. But yes, you could do it. Please look into it. Then you could possibly get to meet the Duke of Edinburgh or Edward. That's amazing. Banal says you know so much. Wow. Well, we actually have a D.A.V. scheme at the school that I work for. I don't think anyone's got to gold yet, but certainly, you know, lots of children start on the bronze, and it's still a challenge. It's still a really interesting challenge to try and set yourself and a goal to achieve. Jamie says Charles said he'd like to see all of the Irish counties. I'm sure he would, and you know, I'm sure the more Irish visits that he makes, you know, he'll probably keep doing more and more and more and more. So, you know, one of my relatives loves Ireland and keeps going back and back. And I think the more you go, the more you want to go back. And I think, you know, he sees it as important, and also being a unifying factor as well. So I think he'll go whenever he gets the chance to go and complete more Irish visits. And yes, that means more chances for Jamie to meet him or Camilla. Okay, now I'm going to leave the chat for now. My throat is getting a little sore, and we've covered everything on my list anyway. So I'm going to leave you now. The chat is back next week on Saturday, back to normal, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock GMT time, for those of you who don't know. And I hope that doing the chat this week on the Friday has enabled more people to have access to the live chat. But for those of you who have only just joined me because it's been out on a Friday, the live chat is always on a Saturday at 10 o'clock GMT. Occasionally it may be a Friday if I have something on that Saturday that I can't avoid. But I do always really like to do it on a Saturday because that can reach, as far as I'm aware, the most people. But it's been really interesting to do the chat tonight on Friday. So thank you for being part of the live chat. If you're watching on catch up, thank you very much for watching it on catch up. Please leave a like, comment, share on social media, and just thank you for watching the videos, and thank you for your continued support. So all that's left for me to say is, from me in Shropshire, for this week, goodbye.